Imagine a company so good at predicting your desires. It knows exactly what you want to watch, sometimes even before you do. This isn't magic, it's Netflix, and behind its streaming empire lies one of the most sophisticated algorithms in the world. It's a story of data, psychology, and a bit of manipulation. This is how Netflix keeps you hooked and why you just can't stop watching. But it's not all feel-good entertainment. Behind the scenes, Netflix's algorithm has raised ethical questions, sparked controversies, and even reshaped the way we consume content. So, let's dive deep into the secret sauce that has made Netflix a global powerhouse, and why its algorithm is the ultimate weapon of mass distraction. Welcome to the fascinating and somewhat unnerving world of Netflix's algorithm. Chapter 1. The Birth of the Algorithm. Netflix started its journey in 1997 as a DVD rental-by-mail service. Back then, it was all about convenience. You could order a movie and get it delivered straight to your home. But Netflix knew that the future wasn't in DVDs. In 2007, they made the bold move to streaming. But streaming wasn't just about delivering content faster, it was about knowing what content people wanted to watch. And that's where the algorithm comes in. When Netflix transitioned to streaming, they realized they were sitting on a goldmine of data. Every click, pause, rewind, fast forward, or even the time of day you watch shows. They were all clues, tiny data points that could reveal a lot about you. And they decided to use this data to build an algorithm that could predict exactly what you wanted to watch next. But the stakes were high. If Netflix got it wrong, viewers would leave the platform in seconds. To avoid that, Netflix needed to get into your head. Chapter 2. The Big Data Revolution. So, Netflix went on a hiring spree, bringing in the best data scientists and machine learning experts in the world. And in 2006, they made a bold move. Netflix launched the Netflix Prize, a competition offering $1 million to anyone who could improve their recommendation algorithm by 10%. Hundreds of teams around the world competed, and after 3 years, a winner emerged. The winning algorithm was better, but not perfect. However, it was a game changer. It taught Netflix that the key to better recommendations wasn't just in user ratings or reviews, but in understanding more complex patterns, like the relationship between different genres, viewing habits, and the emotional tone of content. Netflix realized they needed more than just a static algorithm. They needed an algorithm that could learn and adapt in real time. And so, they built a system that was constantly evolving, learning from every single user's behavior. Chapter 3. The Psychology of Binge-watching. But the algorithm does more than just predict what you'll like. It's designed to keep you on the platform for as long as possible. It's no accident that Netflix doesn't have a "Are you sure you want to continue?" pop-up after a few episodes. Instead, it has an autoplay feature that starts the next episode within seconds. Why? Because Netflix knows that once you're hooked, you're far more likely to stay on the platform. They've even studied human behavior to understand exactly when people tend to pause or stop watching. If you're watching at night, the algorithm might recommend a lighter, shorter show, so you don't feel overwhelmed and stop watching. On a lazy Sunday afternoon, it might push a gripping thriller that's likely to keep you glued to the screen for hours. Netflix knows when you're most vulnerable to a binge, and they design their content presentation to match. The algorithm doesn't just consider what you like, it also considers how likely you are to keep watching, and this is where things get a little tricky. Chapter 4. The Manipulation Game. Netflix has learned how to manipulate your choices subtly. The thumbnails for shows and movies are personalized. Yes, those images that pop up on your screen are not random. If you're someone who loves comedy, you might see a funny moment from the show The Office. But if you prefer romance, you'll see Jim and Pam gazing lovingly at each other. They even tested different colors, faces, and moods to find out which thumbnails are most likely to grab your attention. If you tend to click on shows with dark and moody covers, Netflix knows that and will serve you more of that style. Netflix is constantly running A/B tests on users to figure out what works best for different segments of people. It's like a never-ending psychological experiment. And then there's the concept of FOMO, the fear of missing out. Netflix uses trending lists, top 10 inches banners, and what's popular now categories to create a sense of urgency and keep you engaged. It's human nature to not want to be left out, and Netflix taps into that instinct with surgical precision. Chapter 5. The Dark Side of the Algorithm. But here's where things get darker. The algorithm doesn't just guide you to what you'll enjoy, It sometimes guides you to what Netflix wants you to watch. Shows that Netflix produces in-house are often prioritized because they are more profitable. And if you think about it, Netflix can also subtly influence global culture by pushing certain types of content over others. Critics argue that the algorithm can create an echo chamber, reinforcing certain viewing habits and not exposing viewers to diverse content. It's a bit like social media algorithms that show you more of what you already agree with. And with such power, Netflix's algorithm raises ethical questions about privacy, manipulation, and the responsibility that comes with having so much influence over millions of people's choices. Chapter 6: The Future of the Algorithm. So, where does Netflix go from here? As competition heats up with platforms like Disney+, Amazon Prime, and HBO Max, Netflix knows its algorithm is its secret weapon. It's why they're investing heavily in AI and machine learning, trying to make their recommendations even better, even more personalized. They want to know you so well that you never think about canceling your subscription. But this is also a race against time. As people become more aware of how their data is used, they may start to push back. Governments are also starting to look more closely at how tech companies use algorithms to influence behavior. So, while Netflix's algorithm might seem like magic, it's really just a very sophisticated, data-driven tool designed to keep you watching. So, the next time you find yourself on a Netflix binge at 3 a.m., just remember, you're not the only one watching. The Netflix algorithm is right there with you, learning, adapting, and constantly figuring out new ways to keep you hooked. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Netflix's secret weapon, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our deep dives into the biggest stories in business.